The Sony A95K and the Samsung S95C are two of the best TVs on the market right now. Using the cutting edge of quantum dot-enhanced OLED panels, they both offer high brightness, deep colors, and inky blacks. And while the panels themselves are built to impress, each company puts a different spin on the final product, each with different strengths and features. So, which one's the best? Wait! With TVs this good, the real question should be, which is the best for you? Stay tuned to find out. For more information and updated prices, check the links in the description box below. In terms of design, both the Samsung S95C and the Sony A95K sport a sleek design. However, Sony has designed the A95K to be as minimalistic as possible. With the stand in its default position behind the TV, all you see from the front is the screen, armored on three sides by a 7 to 8mm bezel, then on the bottom by a thicker lip that houses elements like the IR receiver and far-field microphones, and displays a very subtle Sony logo, which will always be inevitable, by the way. In this position, the set has a slight lean backwards that should compensate for it standing lower on your furniture than would a TV with a more typical stand. Alternatively, the stand can be set up in front of the screen so that the TV can be positioned more or less flush against a wall, as if posing for the front cover of Forbes. To these eyes, that's actually the more striking of the two positioning options, but which will suit you will depend on your room and furniture. Wall mounting is, of course, an option, with the stand detaching entirely. At 4.3 centimeters, the A95K is just a smidge thinner than the LG C2, but a fair bit thicker than the Samsung S95C. I guess the extra calories did it some good. Nevertheless, Sony has a plastic chassis section at the back which covers more of the set's rear than is typical of an OLED. It could possibly be mistaken for a backlit TV with only a small section of OLED super slimness on display. This rear enclosure has a grid pattern that makes the TV's behind a little more interesting than that of most other sets. The S95C, on the other hand, goes another route in terms of design, one that's reminiscent of LG's G-Series gallery models. Here, the set is a uniform thickness of 1 centimeter that allows it to be mounted more or less flush against a wall. It also makes it less flimsy and also allows for better placement of the speakers. This uniformly thin design has been achieved by moving all of the connections, including power, to an external One Ultimate Connect box. This year's One Connect, which is exclusive to the S95C QD OLED and the QN900C, QN800C, and QN700C 8K OLEDs, is very similar to last year's. For instance, it's much wider but slimmer than the brick design of old, and attachable to the rear of the stand for those who are happy with a more typical arrangement. Those who do position the One Connect box away from the set will then have just one brilliantly slim cable running to their TV, thereby reducing all the dangers that come with redundantly cluttered cables. Plus, it makes your home entertainment center simple and elegant. Hats off to the S95C on this one. Moving on to features, both the S95C and the A95K come with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, which support 4K gaming from the PS5, Xbox Series X, and the latest PC graphics cards, along with VRR and FreeSync Premium Pro. For the S95C series, Samsung has introduced a new brightness-boosting Quantum HDR OLED Plus feature that uses AI deep learning to fine-tune brightness on a per-pixel level. A quantum neural processor is also on board that upscales pictures to 4K using AI-based algorithms, with the processing performed on a scene-by-scene basis while the set simultaneously adds dynamic HDR10+ tone mapping. This simply means that it renders richer and genuine colors through AI-assisted color mapping. As with all other Samsung TVs, HDR10+ is the only advanced high dynamic range format the S95C supports, with Dolby Vision once again left out of the HDR mix. On the audio front, Samsung's new OLED TV features a 4.2.2 speaker system, a clearly audible upgrade from the 2.2.2 channel configuration of last year's S95B. There's also Object Tracking Sound Plus, a feature that improves the directionality of sound effects when using the set's built-in speakers, and Q Symphony 3.0, which lets you combine the TV's built-in speakers with a compatible Samsung soundbar for an enhanced audio presentation. Samsung's incredibly slim OLED TV has what the company calls an Infinity One design, with an external One Connect box handling connectivity and linking to the TV via a cable. The solar cell remote control that comes with the set soaks up ambient light to extend battery life, and the set also features an ATSC 3.0 tuner for receiving next-gen digital TV broadcasts in the US. However, the Smart Hub interface on Samsung TVs hasn't changed much from the previous generation, aside from the addition of new health options. The Sony A95K, on the other hand, comes with a Bravia Cam camera, which is magnetically attached, peeking over the top edge of the screen. While at launch, the Bravia Cam only offered video chat functionality, but guess what it does now? It now supports the promised features like Ambient Optimization Pro, which adjusts picture and sound based on where you are in the room. Proximity Alert, which is designed to prevent children from standing or sitting too close to the TV. Gesture Control, and Auto Power Saving Mode, which detects when you've left the room and dims the screen. Some people may find some of these features useful, but we think that most buyers will ignore them. In fact, they might never bother connecting the camera. I can't help but wonder how much it's added to the A95K's overall price, and rather wish Sony had instead made it an optional extra. Nevertheless, as it did last year, Sony is utilizing the Google TV operating system for most of its 2022 TVs, including the A95K. Overall, this is a very good platform that's pretty snappy to use here and puts increasingly intelligent personalized recommendations front and center, making it very quick to find something new to watch or jump back into. Unfortunately, the vast majority of recommendations presented are still from Amazon Prime Video and Disney+, with just a couple of Apple TV titles and a single My5 TV show thrown in. Nevertheless, in terms of brightness, the S95C turns out to be the brightest OLED TV, with peak light output on a 10% white window pattern measuring 1,374 nits in filmmaker mode. For the sake of comparison, the A95K hovers around just under 300 nits of brightness. To be precise, 276 nits in its standard picture mode and 297 nits in custom, with its peak brightness hovering around 1000 nits. This makes Samsung's new model insanely brighter than Sony's A95K. OLED TVs typically serve up excellent UHD P3 color space coverage, and the S95C is no exception, measuring better than 99% along with 74.6% BT 2020 coverage. This basically means that the S95C offers uncompromised color reproduction when watching HDR programs on disk or from streaming services. Input lag in game mode measures 1.8 milliseconds, an excellent result that ranks the S95C among the best gaming TVs around today. That being said, gamers should be thrilled with the S95C's performance. The 144Hz refresh rate is a noticeable improvement over the 120Hz refresh rate of Sony's A95K, and the panel is extremely responsive. It supports AMD FreeSync for gaming, but not NVIDIA G-Sync. Nevertheless, the measured input lag of just 1.8 milliseconds in gaming mode is far lower than the 10 millisecond threshold used to determine if a TV is among the best for gaming. Even so, without gaming mode active, the S95C has an input lag of 63.1 milliseconds, so gamers, make sure to enable it for the best performance. Overall, the Samsung S95C looks to be a home run. Features like a new 144Hz refresh rate and AMD's FreeSync Premium Pro will make it a tempting purchase for anyone with a gaming PC in their living room. However, for TV and movie lovers, there seems to be little improvement to the actual picture quality of Samsung's only OLED model year on year. So, is there any other good news? Sure, if you bought a Samsung S95B OLED last year, this year's model is unlikely to give you FOMO. That being said, Sony has outdone itself with the Bravia XR A95K. The company has taken its previously towering picture enhancement technologies and supercharged them. Sound, color, speed, interface, you name it, the A95K has it. And whatever you want to do, this TV excels at it. It really comes close to the Samsung S95C as far as features are concerned, but I'm not convinced that it beats the S95C as a package deal. If you're still not sure which TV you should buy, be sure to check out our previous videos of other TV models and brands. For more information on the products mentioned, check the links in the description box below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up for this video.